Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back in for another Kashtira deck profile for you guys. Really quick, we're going to turbo through the main deck, starting with the traps. Single preparation, triple imperm for the magic cards. One called by, one triple T, one terraforming, triple defisher, triple prosperity, triple planet, triple thriosis, and triple birth ski. For the monsters, single ogre, double scareclaw, triple shifter, triple ash, triple riseheart, triple uni, and triple fenny. For the extra deck, one single copy of Chen Yang, one Little Knight, one Phoenix, one Mecho Phantom Beast Dracosac, two number 11 Big Eye, two Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation, one Zeus, triple Shang, and triple Tax Dragon, aka Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, MVP, super good. For the side, single Duster, single Thrust, double Hole, triple Cosmic, Cheesy Dogwood, two Lava Golem, and a stack of evenly matched. Really quickly, the matchups, round 1 was against a Galaxy player, round 2 was against a Branded player, round 3 was against a Tenpai player, and round 4 was against a Memento player. I went X1. The only loss I had was to the Tenpai player. We did go to game 3. I ended up misplaying, unfortunately. He Black Rose me during the battle phase before I had double Scareclaw, and I was, forgot that they could synchro off. So he took game 3, so only loss was to the Tenpai player. Fortunately, unfortunately, was able to get 3rd place overall. It was around 16, 17 man tournament, so pretty small. Was really, the deck performed very well. There are a few changes that I want to incorporate. I've been doing some research, and this formula seems to work really good, more specifically for the draw power. 3 prosperity is pretty consistent. I haven't really been able to find anything to really top consistency as far as this. I don't like that you can't draw cards after this, but I do also not like that it's hard once per turn. So drawing multiple copies is not fun. And proccing off 6 from the extra deck is pretty costly, but it's done pretty well for what it is. The 3-dimensional Fisher, that's kind of a white Mexican special. Droll Veiler, even Ogre. Some people are playing Ogre now, but mostly Droll and Veiler. Just cut those completely off. And Graveyard Manipulation is just great for this deck. Everything else is pretty standard. I know some people are cutting Theosis to 2. I personally don't have issues breaking on it. A little far into none. Great combo starter, and I just personally don't feel like cutting it to 2. I like it at 3. Maybe for like game 2 or 3 for side, maybe cutting it to 1, but maining it 2 is just not the white Mexican way. What I do want to do is I do want to cut the preparation. So preparation, it's pretty good, but I can see, I kind of did some research, and it seems like the right move to cut it. Interesting enough, I don't want to cut the Ogre, though. I do want to make one additional change to the monster lineup. So besides the standard 3-3-3, some people run 2 Riseheart. I like 3. It's such a great combo starter. Game 2 or 3, you can side one out, just like Theosis, but maining for game 1, 3 is fine. Was fine with this hand trap. A lot of people like to run Droll and the other Ghost Girls. I think this, especially for game 1, is enough. Kashtira is. I just don't like running a lot of hand traps. It's just my personal thing. You can, but I like to main the Fishers too. So it's kind of like trading off to not use too many crazy hand traps. But do want to keep the single Ogre, but I want to try something super crazy, just because, and this is insane, like this might be kind of bricky, but one thing that I'm incorporating is I'm cutting the preparations, keeping the Ogre, but I want to play tests with 3 Scareclaw. And I know that sounds super clunky and crazy, but this card is just so insane. Especially with Tenpai running rampant, this is like, I mean, obviously not an auto win because I misplayed and ended up losing the match against a Tenpai player. But really, really strong against Tenpai and just cutting off effects. It's also a big body at 26 on the back end, and attacking and defense is just really, really great. This card is just insane. I love running it at 2, and the reason why I want to make this change, cutting the prep and then adding the 3rd Scareclaw, but keeping the Ogre, because I really do like how Ogre's the only other one besides Uni and Fenny where you can just drop it from your hand if you don't control any monsters. It's mostly for, obviously, the big beater. It's a 28 body, and then with Planet, it gets juked up pretty high. That's really the only reason for that, and then just to also have just another body in the deck to go into a Theosis play or a Rise Heart play, whatever it may be. So crazy enough, I'm going to make that change, proc up Scareclaw to 3 by cutting the preparation and keeping the Ogre. But another reason why I want to do that is because I want to go back to incorporating Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. This card is super great. Just like Prosperity, it is a hard once per turn, which is a huge limiting factor. But I'm really tossed up. I go back and forth between the whole just running the 3 Prosperity and cutting this card, cutting Upstart. Droll is running rampant in the format right now. Almost everyone, it seems like, is mainstreaming Droll and Lockbird. That's another reason why I did go back, like I said earlier, to the 3 Fisher as kind of some minor protection against that. But you don't always open up Shifter or Dimensional Fisher, which is, really disheartening. But, it's 6 out of 40, so you're not always going to get it. So sometimes you kind of got to risk it. But as I was saying, like, this has done very well for me. It's been pretty good, and I don't want to, like, reinvent the whole formula here, but I'm just going to change it up and just to see how it works. I'm not really sure if I want to run this quite as a 3 of, or if I want to incorporate this with upstarts. I haven't really figured out. The biggest thing that I'm having a hard time with is the side deck, because I'm revamping completely the side deck. I heard some good things, specifically for the Yubel matchup, that Sphere Mode is a better choice than Lava Golem, because you can push off 3 monsters instead of 2. You're also not giving them a big beater to swing with. So that could potentially be something that I may incorporate, swapping this out for Sphere Modes. But more to come on the side deck. The side deck is definitely a work in progress. The biggest decision that I need to make is staying with the 3 pot, or maybe running 2 and 2, or maybe 3 and 1. I'm not really sure. These obviously, like, conflict with each other. But the thing about this is, I little to never use 2 Prosperities in one duel. If I do, it's like a really bad time. Just because the extra deck, like, you turbo into the extra deck so quickly in this. And again, I can't say enough what an MVP having 3 of these. This was insane in time. I actually beat the Memento player because I opened up in game 3. I was going first, and I opened up with Spooky. So I kept this in hand, went full combo, and ended up dropping 2 Tax Dragons, and then dropped the Spooky on his turn, and he basically passed over. He didn't summon, so I lost 4K, but I was completely in control because I had both my Tax Dragons full board, and I basically just blew them out with 1 battle phase, and I had Planet too, so these were all being boosted. Which was pretty good, which was pretty fun. But again, the same thing with, like, Shang too. A lot of people only run 1, which I think is just so insane to only run 1. This card, just like Unicorn and Fenrir, demands answers from your opponent. If you have either of these cards on the board, these are instantly going to soak up an Imperm or an Ash or some kind of disruption, because if your opponent doesn't answer this is a body. This is a magic search. This is another body search. These cards are just constantly netting you surpluses. So why would you want to cut that out? I mean, I guess, again, I could see potentially 2. But I really think, especially if you are, like most players, going to be on the Prosperity dig package, definitely at least 2. 3 is just because I always find myself going into at least 1, more than likely 2 in like any game. 1, 2, or 3. I'm usually procking 1 to 2 of these, like no matter what, just because it's insane. People say it's like a really like, you know, simple move, but the simple moves are usually the ones that just kind of have the most consistency. Another thing that I'm going to change in the extra deck is I'm actually planning on either cutting, probably more than likely, probably cutting a Dark Arm Dragon for the Blaze card. I knew about the Blaze card, but I didn't know that it was a non-target a non-target destruction, which is really, really cool. It's a 1-for-1, you destroy 1 and they destroy 1. But it's non-targeting, which is really, really important because I feel like there's a lot of cheeky stuff going around in this meta right now where you can't target. And I really don't like that. So just like expanding the horizon, the utility of your extra deck, and procking 1 Blaze. I need to pick up a QCR. I'm leaving for some training here, so it's going to be a while before I can make more videos and incorporate the Blaze Dragon. But that's definitely going to be something. I'm going to cut 1 of the Dark Arm for the Blaze to have to expand the versatility. These, again, is mostly for back row removals, for floodgates. There's some pretty nasty floodgates that you can run into. I know the Memento player was maining a copy of There Can Only Be One, which is pretty tough against this because a lot of the monsters are psychic besides Rise Heart for the main ones. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That's another one of the changes, minor changes that I'm going to make with the extra deck. But that's kind of my white Mexican theory on that. Pretty simplistic, forward thinking. So that's pretty much all. There really isn't anything crazy that happened again. It was pretty straightforward. The only Memento was 3 games as well, so that was a little bit challenging. I lost game 2 going second, and I had all my board breakers. I had Harpy's Feather Duster, I opened Fisher, I opened Dark Hole. I had a Fenrir for a follow-up play. I kind of played out of order. I ended up going Fisher first, and he had an answer to destroy the Fisher, and then he ended up doing like a fusion summon and stuff. And he used that level 2 link that can negate a magic or trap effect. So he ended up letting the Duster go through because he chained a couple things, but he didn't let the Dark Hole go through. So I was basically just cooked at that point. So I scooped. But game 3 was very, very one-sided again with being lucky enough to open the Spooky doppled with 2 Tax Dragon was just, you know, very frustrating for him. An unfortunate way to win, but, you know, this deck, because of my choices, fares very well in time. And I'm definitely not complaining about it personally myself. So more changes to come in the future. And that is all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Really quick, I almost forgot. Prize support for 3rd place. This place is kind of colorful. The prize support is always kind of questionable. So we got OTS 25, a single rarity collection 2, and the most randomest of randomness 2 Valiant Smashers. So it was pretty clear that they're just trying to get rid of product that they are having a hard time selling. So third place prizing right here. It is what it is. Let's see what we can get here. There's a Spooky Dogwood right there, one and only. We got a super here. There really isn't anything great in this set. There's some collector's rares that are pretty cool, but other than that, there's really nothing. QCR or Christie have been kind of cool, but yeah, this is a pretty garbage set unless you pull a collector's rare, which the ratios are not super great. Hence, probably why they gave us those. Hopefully, I can get an Alti Ash. I'm waiting to get my 3rd Alti Ash. I actually got that last week, the Super Arvada. And for the rarity collection, maybe we can pull a pretty cool QCR from here. Well, it's not a QCR, it's this makeshift kind of dark premium looking secret stuff. So yeah, definitely pretty skimpy on the prize support, but it is what it is. Pulls are pretty trash too, but really great experience, and it was really fun to do well with my favorite deck, being the one and only, yours truly. This has been a showcasing by Autumn's Allure. My name is the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.